think that's what, this whole thing here is really about competition. And, I think we all know that competition with each other breeds success. So, it's really about opportunity. And I think it's every year it's a challenge to make sure you're giving guys enough opportunities and finding the right things and the right pieces that fit and trying to illustrate their skill set. So it's probably no different than any other year, trying to find the best things that fit into the right hole at the right time and go from there.
I know Jelani hasn't been out there a lot, but I'm sure you've watched tape and everything on him. Just what's his capabilities of what he can do?
Yeah, obviously Jelani came in and had a really productive year last year. Made some really big plays, some really big situations. So, man, I think for a young player, I don't know if you ever want to really say what is the high. You don't know. You really don't know. And I think that's the fun thing about it. A youthful group, especially a youthful group that has a lot of talent, is it's exciting to see where they can continue to grow, and as they learn and continue to get better, and how much more can you add to each guy's repertoire, and see where you can go from there.
What have you learned about Drew Ogletree so far?
Yeah, Drew's done a really good job. I think, when I got here, there was a lot of guys raving about the camp he had last year, and I think he certainly has not disappointed. He really is a professional. He's come in, every day with a purpose to do, what he has to do to be successful, and so I've been real pleased with him. He's done a great job, and he's continuing. He hasn't played a ton of football either, so trying to get him as many reps that are going to be as much game-like as you can, and put him in those situations now. But he's done a great job.
Is it kind of surprising to think that he's never played a play in the NFL? Just his size and some of the way he carries himself doesn't quite seem like essentially a rookie.
Yeah, I think a good observation. I mean, he carries himself like a professional. He has professional work habits. So yeah, I think if you just met him, you'd probably be a little shocked maybe that, hey, he hasn't been here that long. But I think that's why he's here, is because when he was at the University of Findlay, he was at Youngstown State, those people there said the same thing, that he always had a professional attitude towards everything he does. So I don't think it's a surprise from when you kind of dig into his background, but certainly I've been happy with him.
How important is it to have a tight end room where these guys have all different skill sets, whether they're blocking specialists or they can run after the catch like Kylan, or big play guys downfield? Like, how important is that to kind of have chess pieces?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a good thing, right? You want as many guys with as many wide-ranging skill sets as you possibly can find. Mm-hmm. And I think our room is probably a good example of that. I think there's a lot of different body types, a lot of different skill sets. But also I think it's important that each guy is able to do a little bit of everything as well. So I think we have a good blend there, and those guys have done a great job continuing to work at it.
And kind of talking about Kylan, I mean, he was the leading receiver for the tight ends this past season. And so in him, what have you been seeing throughout training camp?
Yeah, consistency. I think Kylan, he's made a bunch of plays here for us, but really happy with the consistency that he puts in really everything he does. He's the same guy every day. His preparation's always very, very good, and I think you have a really good idea of what you're going to get from Kylan when you go out to practice, to game day, and obviously he's had meaningful reps in games on Sundays. So certainly I think that's expected from him, and he's done a great job.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's a really competitive tight end room. You guys have 7 bodies, and there's only so many roster spots. And so for you, while it is a competition, it seems like everybody's getting along and everybody's so lighthearted. So as a coach, how helpful is it to see them bond together, but also going out there and competing?
Yeah, I think that's really probably the culture of this organization in general. Is that I think they understand that it really is about being together and having the opportunity to be truly part of a team. And these guys they really embraced it. They're good friends. I think, and they're all really good people, right? And I think as many good high character people that you can bring into a football program, the better you're going to be, like any other organization. So yeah, it certainly makes working with this group fun, and it makes you really have no bad days, because you got really good people that are working really, really hard, and they're really trying to be supportive and get the best out of each other as well.
And ultimately, what are you trying to get on these tight ends?
We're trying to find the best football players we can find that are going to be out there and help us win on Sundays. And I think that's like any other position. You want to find as many guys that the best players that fit the best scheme and the best situation are going to give us a chance to be successful as a team.
Is Kylan kind of a rarity with his ability to separate before the catch, but then run after the catch? Like, not every tight end seems to be able to do it the way he does.
Yeah, I mean, he's made some really good plays in camp doing those things, right? I mean, he's a good route runner, and I think he's continued to grow on that process, and he's done a great job with kind of maximizing all these new fundamentals and techniques. And I mean, he's been great. And yeah, he certainly has a unique trait in that he has great speed, right? And I think that's, you kind of alluded to it already. There's a lot of different body types, and he certainly gives you flexibility because he can do different things. He's and also, not to take away from him, he's a good blocker as well. So he's a well-rounded football player, and he's not, hey, he's just the fast guy. He's a really good, solid football player, man, and he does things really, really well. So really happy with what he's done so far.